A quiet trip to the bank turns into a nightmare when a millionaire loses control and kicks his pregnant wife in front of stunned customers. Cameras catch every second. He thinks he can spin it. He thinks he can silence her. He has no idea who he is dealing with because her father is the one man who can turn a nation against him with truth alone. What follows is not a police case. It is a war of exposure, humiliation, and justice delivered through the power of millions watching. And believe me, the moment that final live stream hits the screen, you will not be ready for what happens. The moment Olivia Hale felt her husband's foot slam into her stomach, the world disappeared into a ringing blur. The polished bank tiles felt icy against her palms as she felt her knees, clutching her belly, desperate for breath. A cry escaped her lips, cut short by the horror rippling through the room. People gasped. Someone screamed. A banker dropped his pen. And phones rose instantly, recording, capturing, immortalizing. Her husband, Damian Hale, one of the richest men in the city, stood over her with a twisted mix of anger and arrogance dominating his face. His voice was cold, dripping with entitlement. Get up. Don't make a scene. But this wasn't a scene. This was a crime, one the world was about to witness. Olivia trembled, tears streaming down her cheeks as her hands protected her unborn child. Her pregnancy was 7 months along. A miracle she'd fought for. A baby she had prayed for. And now, the child's life hung in the balance because of one man's rage. A security guard rushed forward, but Damian lifted a threatening hand. Touch me and you lose your job. That tone, that arrogance, was the voice of a man used to buying silence. Used to winning. Used to covering every sin with wealth and lawyers. But this time, he miscalculated. A woman stepped forward. Sir, we all saw what you did. Damian's jaw tightened. And? You're going to jail. He smiled, a slow, terrifying smile, the kind worn by men who believe laws are written for others, not them. Do you know who I am? But behind him, every customer in the bank held their phone like a weapon. Every face was a witness. Every recording was proof. The manager knelt beside Olivia, voice shaking. Ma'am, don't move. Help is on the way. Her body shook violently. Her baby kicked weakly. Her heartbeat raced like thunder. The doors burst open as paramedics rushed in. But before she was lifted onto the stretcher, Olivia whispered one line, soft but furious. He won't get away this time. And somewhere far away, in a quiet government building, a powerful man received a message with a single video attached. The man watching the video was Olivia's father. A man Damian Hale never expected to cross. The video landed in the private inbox of Jonathan Reed, a journalist known nationwide for one thing: destroying corrupt men. His exposes had toppled politicians, CEOs, billionaires, and criminals who believed they were untouchable. What no one knew, publicly, was that Jonathan had a daughter he had lost contact with years ago. A daughter he'd searched for. A daughter he'd failed to protect. That daughter was Olivia. When he opened the video, his breath left his body. There she was, collapsed on the bank floor, pregnant, crying, terrified. And the man kicking her was a face Jonathan recognized from countless financial scandals. He stood so fast his chair toppled over. Find everything on Damian Hale, he ordered his team. Every company, every shell corporation, every hidden asset, every lawsuit, every mistress, every leaked message, every bribe. Everything. His assistant froze. Sir, are you sure? That man owns half the city. Jonathan's eyes darkened. And now he'll lose all of it. At the hospital, Olivia lay trembling on the bed, fetal monitors beeping rapidly. Nurses pressed cold gel onto her stomach, desperate to hear a strong heartbeat. Olivia whispered desperately, please, please be okay. The room held its breath. Then, ba-bump, ba-bump, ba-bump. Her baby was alive. Tears rolled down her face as relief crashed into her like a storm. But Damian barged into the room moments later, furious. Delete every video. Tell the police it was an accident. You hear me? Olivia's jaw trembled. But something inside her shifted. Strength. Courage. Rebellion. No, she whispered. Not this time. Damien leaned close, eyes cold. I'll ruin you. No, a deeper voice said from the doorway. You won't lay a finger on her ever again. Damien spun around. Jonathan Reed stood there, commanding, furious, and unshakable. Who the hell are you? Damien barked. The man who is about to end everything you've ever built. Damien scoffed. You in what army? Jonathan smirked. Oh, I don't need officers or guns. He lifted his phone. I have millions. And that was the moment Damien Hale realized. He hadn't just kicked his wife. He had kicked the daughter of the one man who could turn the entire nation against him with a single upload. And that upload was coming. Jonathan didn't wait a minute. He stepped into the hallway, pressed upload, and posted the bank footage to his massive social media following with one caption. A millionaire kicks his pregnant wife. Let the world decide his fate. Within minutes, the video exploded. 10,000 views. 50,000. 200,000. 1 million. Comments poured in. This monster needs to be arrested. Protect that woman. Who is this man? Expose him. She's pregnant. Lock him up. Hashtags ignited like wildfire. Hashtag justice for Olivia. Hashtag millionaire abuser. Hashtag arrest Damien Hale. Jonathan's investigative team went to work like soldiers preparing for battle, digging into every dark corner of Damien's life. And soon, they found gold. Hidden accounts. Threats to ex-employees. Bribes. Fake charities. Luxury escorts paid in cash. A private island purchased illegally. Jonathan went live. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just domestic abuse. This is a rot that has infected our society for years. Damien Hale is a danger to every woman he has ever touched. Millions watched. Thousands shared. Damien's empire trembled. Meanwhile, Olivia lay in her hospital bed, guilt and fear clawing at her chest. I didn't want this, she whispered to her father. I didn't want war. Jonathan sat beside her, voice gentler this time. This isn't war because of you. It's war because of him. Her fingers clutched his. I was scared to tell you the truth. Jonathan's throat tightened. I'm the one who failed you, he said. But I promise you, no one will ever hurt you again. Down the corridor, Damien was on a phone call, panicked, sweating, pacing. Shut it down. Delete the video. Threaten the platforms. Call my lawyers. But nothing worked. The world was watching. The world was furious. The world wanted justice. And for the first time in his life, Damien Hale felt fear. Real fear. Damien wasn't a man who surrendered. When public pressure mounted, he turned to his usual weapons. Money. Influence. Manipulation. He held a press conference outside the hospital, flanked by lawyers. My wife is emotional, he declared. She stumbled. She misunderstood. It was an accident. But reporters weren't buying it. One shouted, Sir, the video clearly shows you kicking her. Another pressed, Why won't she support your statement? Damien faked a sad smile. She's confused. Pregnancy emotions. The crowd booed. But Damien wasn't finished. He leaked private messages, edited, making it look like Olivia was unstable, exaggerating, dramatic. Headlines began twisting. Millionaire claims wife needs help. Is Olivia Hale lying? Olivia saw the posts and broke down crying. He's turning the world against me. Jonathan pulled her close. No. He's turning liars against you. The world is still on your side. But Damien's next move was darker. He bribed a doctor to say Olivia fell on her own. He threatened nurses. He tried to get the hospital to discharge her early. Jonathan stepped forward. She is not leaving this hospital. Damien smirked. You can't stop me. Jonathan raised an eyebrow. Oh, but millions can. And he shared another video, one of Damien threatening a former employee. Audio clear. Voice unmistakable. Damien's mask shattered. The nation exploded in fury again. The police reopened the investigation. People surrounded the hospital chanting, "Arrest him. Protect Olivia. No more abuse." The walls were closing in. And Damien felt it. Jonathan prepared the final blow, a nationwide live stream. He announced the time. He announced the topic. He announced the guest. Olivia. Damien panicked. He forced his way into her hospital room hours before the stream, eyes wild, voice shaking. Don't do this, Olivia. Think of our baby. She stared at him, pain turning into pure steel. You didn't think of the baby when you kicked me. He reached for her arm. She pulled away violently. Get out. But Damien wasn't finished. If you go live, I'll take the child. That was his mistake. Jonathan stepped out from behind the curtain, recording everything. You just threatened a pregnant woman on camera, he said. Damien went pale. That's illegal. And now the world will see. Security dragged him out as he screamed. At 7 p.m., Olivia sat in front of a camera, hands trembling. Jonathan squeezed her shoulder gently. You're not alone. When the live stream began, over 3 million people joined in the first minute. Olivia took a deep breath. He hurt me for years. I stayed silent. I hid the bruises. I lied for him. But when he hurt my baby, something inside me broke. She lifted her gown slightly, revealing bruises. People gasped. He always said no one would believe me. He was wrong. Jonathan leaned forward. Tell the world what you want. Olivia exhaled, voice steady. I want freedom. I want justice. I want every woman who is scared to know, you are not alone. The comments exploded. You are brave. We stand with you. Justice for Olivia. And somewhere in the city, Damien smashed a glass against the wall. He was losing. Within hours, the live stream hit every news network in the country. Olivia's face became a symbol, a voice, a movement. Police arrived at Damien's penthouse that night with a warrant. Illegal threats. Domestic abuse. Financial fraud. Bribery. He tried to run. He tried to hide assets. He tried to call in favors. But every phone rang unanswered. Everyone had seen the live stream. Everyone feared Jonathan Reed. Everyone wanted to distance themselves from a sinking ship. Damien was handcuffed at dawn. His eyes burned with hatred when he saw Jonathan standing across the street. This isn't over, he shouted. Jonathan folded his arms. Oh, it was over the moment you kicked my daughter. The media swarmed. Cameras flashed. The nation celebrated. Olivia watched the arrest from her hospital window, tears falling, not from fear now, but relief. Her baby kicked gently, as if sensing safety. She whispered, "We're free now." A nurse entered with a smile. "Your scans are good. Your baby is strong." Olivia finally allowed herself to breathe. For the first time in years, she felt hope. The courtroom overflowed. Journalists fought for seats. Women held signs of support. The judge took his seat with a hard gaze. Damien walked shackled, his confidence stripped. The prosecutor began. Your Honor, this is not a case of one kick. This is a decade of lies, violence, financial crimes, and emotional torture. Evidence played on screens, footage, audio files, employee testimonies, former girlfriends. Then Olivia stood. Jonathan held her elbow as she walked to the stand. She told everything. Her voice never cracked. Her eyes never lowered. When she finished, the entire room rose in applause, rare for a courtroom but impossible to suppress. Damien shouted, "Lies. All of it." The judge banged the gavel. "Mr. Hale, sit down or be removed." Damien snarled, "I will destroy you all." The judge cut him off. "You already destroyed yourself." The verdict was swift. Guilty. On all counts. Sentenced to 25 years. The courtroom erupted in cheers. Jonathan hugged his daughter tightly. "It's over," he whispered. But Olivia shook her head gently. "No, it's the beginning." 6 months later, Olivia welcomed a healthy baby girl into the world, Lily. Jonathan held his granddaughter with trembling hands. "She's perfect," he whispered. Olivia moved into a peaceful home her father helped her find, a cottage with sunlight on every window and flowers blooming along the path. She started a foundation for abused women. The Lily Hope Project. Her first live stream after recovery reached 20 million viewers. She spoke with strength, grace, and power. "You are never alone. You are never powerless. And justice always comes, sometimes louder than you expect." The comments flooded with love. Jonathan watched proudly from off-screen. "You started a revolution," he said. Olivia smiled softly, baby Lily sleeping in her arms. "No, Dad. I just stopped being silent." And somewhere in a prison cell, Damien Hale watched the live stream on a small TV. She looked free. Stronger. Untouchable. And for the first time in his life, he felt regret. But it didn't matter. Because Olivia's story wasn't about revenge. It was about rebirth. And the world would never forget the day a millionaire tried to break her. But she rose stronger, louder, and more powerful than he ever imagined.